Shalom, shalom, Israel. Peace, love, and salutations. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men and women who are rehearsing the righteous acts day in and day out. Shalom to you. Before we get started, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world. To you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, and the speckled bird, the Israelite stranger that has been scattered across the four winds of the world, but their lineage goes back to a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indigenous of the America, which go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Shalom to you. Okay, so today's video don't have the exact caption of what I'm going to name this video, but it is concerning Esau, Edom, the Edomites, and how they are starting to feel the shame as all this information has been coming out. Okay, we're in the timeline of the book of Revelation, where everything's being exposed under the firmament. Okay, via internet. Knowledge has been increased, and all the wickedness and atrocities that this devil has done is being broadcast social media all across the world. And this dude is ashamed. And just like a devil that he is, he doesn't want to fess up to anything. If anything, he's trying to avoid any type of claims that he committed in history. Okay, he is trying to avoid any type of judgment, but it's not going to work. Okay, you can't just throw millions and millions of people dying and being enslaved under a rug and think that the world's not going to hear or see what really happened throughout the ages. He's in denial. Okay? All of a sudden, Esau now doesn't want to admit that slavery ever happened. Right? All of a sudden now, he never committed none of these atrocities. It went from, it was people in our past to, we never did it. This is the type of people you're dealing with. People that don't want to be held accountable for nothing in life, because they perceive themselves as God themselves, right? They're trying to be above God. That's the type of mindset that they have, whether they want to admit it or not. Okay, let's get started here. Salakia for the long intro, but we're going to get started here real quick. Let's go to the book of Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Okay, this is speaking of Esau, Edom. Okay, if you read the book of Obadiah, this whole chapter is based on Esau, Edom, the Edomites, which go back to Esau. Esau being the progenitor of the self-proclaimed white man or European man, which the vast majority of them do go back to the Edomites, which go back to Esau. Okay? This is his spirit. This is how he's always been. And he's starting to feel the shame. But he is the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. It's the false accuser of his brethren and all men alike on earth. Okay? And you could go to the verse 1, Obadiah 1 and 1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay, and this heathen is talking about is Esau, Edom, this whole chapter. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that point up there real quick. But let's continue here. We're going to let's go here to Esau, how he's always hated Jacob, right? You can find that in Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay, and Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Yasharallah. Okay, the Israelites, which are in today's day and age, are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. Okay, it's not going to say in the Bible black or African American or Hispanic or Native American. Okay, this is a spiritual book, and you have to have the spiritual discernment to be able to receive the mysteries. Okay, you have to be born again in the spirit to be able to receive the spiritual discernment of who in today's age is the Israelites and who are the Edomites and the rest of the heathen nations. Okay, let's continue here. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Okay, so this is Esau, man. He's always had a perpetual hate towards you black, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous. This is old, ancient hate that he's had. And it's starting to manifest even more now. You're starting to see that come out, his true colors of who these Edomites truly are. And they're Esau. Okay, all this other time, he's been living it up. His power has been, pretty steady. But now that his kingdom is crumbling right before his eyes, you're going to see the true red devil that he is. To the point where this guy will look you straight in the face and deny everything he's ever done. As expected from a heathen, right? Like Esau, Edom. And he's proposing to kill thee. And he's always had that mindset. Okay, he's always had that mentality to do away with the Israelites. Like we just got done reading, he knew what the blessing was for Jacob. And he did not like it. Okay, he wanted the blessing of Jacob. He wanted to be the one in ruling power. But it wasn't meant to be. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai always chose Jacob. Okay? Let's continue here. Let's go to Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed blood of the children of Yasharallah by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, this is that perpetual hate that Esau has always had towards the children of Yasharallah. Okay, let's look up that word real quick, perpetual. They got a Hebrews transliteration for the word perpetual, olam. Okay, let's look at the outline biblical usage. Long duration, antiquity, perpetuity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world. Okay, so this is how full of hate this devil is, man. He has a perpetual hate, an everlasting hatred towards you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. Okay, and this is how indoctrinated our people are. They are so lost in every fashion of the word. They're lost geographically. They're lost mentally, and even worse, lost spiritually. Okay, they don't know who they are. And this devil knows exactly who he is and is acting accordingly. And he's just going off of his feelings, his spirit, which is a hateful spirit. He doesn't care about anything else but himself. And he's going full force to bring hardcore judgment on you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous. And he's been doing it all along. Okay, and it's going to go on a more devious, on a more harsh, brutal level that a lot of our people have no clue how much of a devil this guy is. They have no clue how much of a psychopath he is. The only reason you hadn't seen that in him is because he's been in power and everything's just kind of been coasting. But now that his kingdom is coming down, you're going to see a whole nother. You're going to see who Esau truly is. Okay, with that perpetual, everlasting hate. Okay, that Olam. Okay. And this is going to be allowed by the Most High because of the abominations that the nation of Yasharallah has committed as far as worshiping Esau's idols as well as the other nations' idols. Okay. And this is why Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai has allowed this to happen. Okay. This is why he has given the world into the hand of the most vile man of the world, which is Esau Edom. Okay, Job 9:24. The world is given into the hand of the wicked. That's a testament in itself how powerful and all-knowing Yahweh truly is, to give a whole world unto a wicked, vile man. Is testament in itself. It testifies. Okay. You can't give a whole world to anything or anyone if you never possessed it. And the people who possess it now, they think that they somehow were able to get it by their will. Is sadly mistaken, because those same individuals are panicking that their world is slipping away from their palms. How is it if you took it by the sword? How is it that it's slipping away? It's because Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai is truly in control. Let's continue here. Let's go to Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, Salakia, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai hath an indignation forever. Okay, and just like Esau, Edom, we just got done reading earlier how they have a perpetual hate for Jacob and the Israelites. So does Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai has an indignation forever for Esau, Edom. Okay. Let's get that word real quick. Indignation. Let's get the Hebrews transliteration, which is Za'am. Okay, let's look at the outline biblical usage. Indignation, to denounce, express indignation, be indignant. Let's look at the let's look at the I. To have indignation, be indignant, be angrily, be defiant. To be abhorrent, to express indignation in speech, denounce, and curse. Okay, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has a full-blown curse coming to Esau, Edom. To show indignation, show anger. Okay, it's a scary thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And this is what is coming for Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Okay, let's look at the Strong's definition. Properly, to foam at the mouth, to be enraged. Okay, Yahweh is enraged with this devil. Angry. Okay, furious on Esau, Edom. And he has a curse to judgment above all the nations, to Esau, Edom in specific, for all the atrocities, the rape, robbing, and and murdering of the Israelites. This is what is coming for Esau, Edom. And the more this truth comes out, the more this guy is doing and saying anything he can, to plead his case of him being completely innocent of all the wickedness that he's committed against Yahweh's chosen nation. Okay, this guy doesn't want to be held accountable for nothing, but that's not the way it works, man. Okay, the chosen nation of Yasharallah had to go through the curses and are currently being completely finished here. We are currently in a position of transition of power and of curses. Okay, the Israelites have paid their dues for so many centuries and are slowly coming off of the curses. And the reason we know is because this 100% true gospel is being spread out. The reason we know is because the tribes collectively are hearkening and are calling out the true ancient biblical name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And the Spirit is moving, congregating the true Hebrew Israelites that are living here in modern time, bringing them and gathering them together spiritually to hearken onto the true name and to preach this 100% true gospel with boldness as of a lion. And this heathen is freaking out, man. This heathen is panicking. Okay, this heathen doesn't know what to do with this truth. He's gotten to the point where he's taking away history books, erasing, destroying all types of statues where he used to boast about how he used to enslave the so-called black man and the indigenous man here in the Americas. Okay? It's bad enough that he publicly used to teach a history on slavery. Now he wants to completely denounce that and say it never happened. That's ridiculous, man. That's the type of desperation this man is in. Okay, let alone having to admit that he enslaved a whole nother group of people, which were the so-called indigenous Americans here, right? Which we know them to be the Gadites, the Reubenites, the native indigenous tribes here in the northern section of America, okay? Which we know and understand through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, that those indigenous people that were here first, that inhabited the land, should I say, the first to inhabit here in the Americas were the Northern Kingdom. Okay, that's the last thing they want to bring up. It's bad enough they got to deal with the enslavement of the tribe of Judah. Now, you think they're going to admit of the enslavement, which were, by the way, as far as the Americas is concerned, they were the first ones to be sent on the slave ships, okay? Because we do understand, we got history books, we got receipts and documents that so-called Cristobal Colon, which is how you pronounce it in Spanish, Cristobal Colon, got here in 1492, and the first people that were persecuted and enslaved to be able to grab all the resources of the America, so-called Babylon the Great, so-called the land, not so-called, the actual biblical name known as Arsareth, the land where no man had inhabited, which is written in the book of Esdras, second book of Esdras, chapter 13, the land of Arsareth, 40 through 45, speaks on the land of Arsareth, how the lost tribes of the northern region of Yasharallah, okay, got here first and inhabited the land here, only to later on become captive by the conquistadors, right? The conquistadors are trying to hide the fact that they did all these atrocities as well. Okay, these devils were more slick. They didn't boast too much like the Englishmen. They were a little more clever into destroying all the historical books of the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas and the Taínos. Okay, they didn't want to leave no evidence. Okay, this devil was a little bit more slick, or maybe less boastful, than the Englishmen or the Britishmen. Call them whatever you want. They're all Edomites. Okay, they all go back to Esau, Edom. The Edomites are the nation that Yahweh has an indignation for. Okay, a pure hatred for being the wicked, vile man of the world. And many years ago, they used to boast on their wickedness. And now they're trying to completely do away with all the history. And you got some of our people okay with that. Some of the simpleton, some of them that love Babylon so much, they're willing to look past all the atrocities that they've done to their ancestors. This is how lost Jacob has become, man. This is how much of a homegrown slave he's become. And this is why Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai ultimately is going to destroy every reprobate, degenerate, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous of the America. Any wicked heathen from our own nation is going to completely annihilate them as well, along with the rest of the heathens. Okay, they are useless for the gathering of salvation. Okay, they are going to be completely burned along with these other heathens. Okay, for rejecting Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, rejecting their inheritance of the nation of Yasharallah, just like Esau, man. Just like Esau, selling his birthright and don't want nothing to do with righteousness, and sold his birthright and is saying, forget the Lord and what he's about. I'm all about feeding my own belly. And that same mindset, that same spirit has been casted over 2/3 of the nation of Israelites as well. Okay? And this is why hardcore judgment is coming on the world, man. Well deserved, right? Only a true man knows when he's done wrong and takes his punishment like a real man. Right? But these animals out here, these Edomites, they ain't men. Okay? They're spineless. Okay? And our people act just like them. And this is why they're going to be judged just like the Edomites. Okay? Because if you think you're going to be able to hide all the murdering, raping, and robbing of millions of people throughout the history, you're ridiculous, man. Okay? Let's go here to Numbers 35 and 34. Do not foul therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. For I, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, dwell among the children of Yasharallah. Okay? And more than ever, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom have been collectively uniting spiritually, man. In the true name, preaching and teaching this 100% true gospel. And this is where Yahweh resides, man. For I, the Lord, dwell among them. Okay, the Lord is among his true men, the 144,000. Right? And whoever defiles the land is gonna get harsh, brutal judgment. Let's go to 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defiles the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. Okay? So for Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, what true pollution is the shedding the blood of Israelites. Okay? For blood it defiles the land. Right? And all the blood that's been shed here in so-called America here, right? Which is Babylon, spiritual Babylon. All this blood and genocide, raping, robbing, and stealing of the Israelites, that's pollution to the land. That is pollution to the Lord. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. Okay, there's no way to cleanse this land here. But by the blood of him that shed it. This is the only way this land could ever be cleansed, purged out, is by shedding the blood of him that shed it. Okay, and who shed all this blood? There's only one person, is Esau Edom. In his journey to conquer the Americas. All right? Biblical Arsareth, biblical Ophir, the land of abundance of gold and silver, which is found in the first Kings as well, the land of Ophir. Okay, this is where Solomon, got all the resources from the land of Ophir. Okay, the Israelites had this knowledge from Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, that the land of Ophir, with the abundance of silver and gold and other type of exotic animals at that time, and trees as well, certain woods were excavated over here, right? Were brought and retrieved back to the nation of Yasharallah by Solomon and his men. Okay. Let's go here to I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end it with Revelations 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Okay, we do understand that Esau, Edom's blessing was the sword and the fatness of the earth, right? All the resources, etc. Okay, we know that Esau, Edom, that was his blessing, the sword. And it's also written throughout all scripture. He that liveth by the sword is going to die by the sword. Okay, let's continue here. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And just like Esau, Edom wants to deny the captivity he put the Israelites under, wants to deny that he used the sword, testifies in itself, man, who this devil really is. Okay, he's trying to run away from judgment, but he can't. And he'll never be able to do it. Okay? The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Every little thought, every little action that this devil has done and said, the Lord has been taking records of it. Okay, and that's why this truth comes out more and more every day, and is destroying this wicked heathen, man. Okay, this heathen doesn't know how to act. He wants to make up shit, talking about it never existed. All these little games he's playing, man. It doesn't matter what little bullshit lies you come up with and how many idiot simpletons fall for your lie. Judgment's still coming for you. Okay? You're going into captivity, Esau. You and your generations of generations are going into captivity for 1,000 years. So I'm going to go ahead and end it with that. Before I go, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, and the speckled bird, those that look like other nations, but their lineage goes back to a black, Hispanic, or Native Indigenous of the America, which go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Shalom, shalom.